Hey, what is up, guys? Bluntguts here. This is a Watcher of Realms video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy my content. And I hope you're going to enjoy this because I am going to be talking through this weekend's banners. On top of that, I am going to be doing a quick damage test of Xena. I wanted to get that out there, but honestly, I don't feel like it warrants a full video. I don't think there's enough interest in her for me to do an entire video about her, but, you know, maybe I'm wrong about that. I just don't think that she is really somebody that we need to really hone in on exactly how much damage she does, because I think her uses are going to be kind of limited, and I just don't know that she is going to be somebody that you really need to like lust after, you know. Maybe poor choice of words with the lust thing there. But either way, I just don't think that she's somebody that you really need to be like in a rush to get. If you do pull her, whether it's this weekend, a month from now, 6 months from now, she's a good hero. And I think she's definitely worth having on your account, especially if you can get her A1. But I don't think that she is so good that you need to go out of your way and potentially risk all the good stuff that is coming later in the month as we get towards Christmas and New Year's. I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff that's coming in the next month, maybe even 2 months, really, honestly. And I would be saving and stockpiling so that you can take advantage of all of that stuff. I feel like most of these videos you see from me, from other content creators, we tell you to wait. If you're a new account, you don't have to wait. You could pull on this 2X, honestly, if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it again, but you could. There's no wrong way to do this. I'm just going to say that up front. But if you're trying to be efficient, you're trying to get the best heroes possible, trying to enhance your account as best you possibly can, I think you should wait. So let's go through the awakenings real quick. I will go do a damage test after I talk about Xena, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about the rest of these banners. But long story short is I don't think you should be pulling. So let's go talk about Brokkir. So Brokkir is arguably the best tank in the game as far as damage mitigation is concerned. You can see, I mean, his talent right here grants physical damage reduction and magic damage reduction of 10% to adjacent allies. When he is frozen, he grants 30% physical and magic damage reduction instead. I mean, he just has so many things that are amazing about him. Huge shields, and his awakenings are no slouch as well. Now, I'm not going to go through his entire kit right here because I don't think we all needed to do that, but I am going to go through his awakenings real quick because I'm going to highlight the ones that I think are worth getting because that may influence your decision. If you are desperate to get some Brokkir awakenings, you know, make sure that you're shooting for the right ones. Make sure they're realistic in my mind because he is a common bucket hero at the end of the day, and he is somebody that I think you know, if you're not going to hit that key awakening, I don't know that you need to be pulling for him. So the A1 here on Brokkir. Good God. So good. So juicy. This is one of his better ones, in truth. Inflicts freeze on up to 5 enemies around when the shield from the ultimate is gone. Phrased very, very poorly. I feel like, especially the earlier heroes in Watcher of Realms, that just the way that they phrase all this stuff is a little suspect. But what this basically means is that when his ultimate fades, and his ultimate does grant him a significant shield, I think it's 110%, 120%, something like that, of his HP when fully skilled up. Let's see, 120% of his HP when fully skilled up. When that fades, whether it's removed by damage, whether it is removed because the duration ends, whichever it may be, if there are enemies around him, up to 5 of them will be frozen. And that freeze is for 2 seconds. There are a bunch of GVG heroes in the game that do have a synergy with freeze, so that is really, really important. Moving on to the A2, plus 1200 HP. Not too shabby, not too great either. You know, it is what it is. It's a base stat boost. It's going to enhance all of the other gear that you have on him because it is going to benefit from any HP percent boost that you do have in your gear, whether that's main stat, substat, anything like that. A3, when the hero is inflicted with freeze, increases receive healing and shield effects by 20%. Now, I don't think this is actually all that great. The shield effects is not too shabby, but the thing is, you know, when he's frozen, whether that's from the unyielding, whether that's from his ultimate when he's using the shield, either way, he is going to end up kind of being immune to damage or having kind of this ability to I guess, take more damage at that time. So the damage that's incoming is not that big a deal. I don't know that he's going to need extra healing and extra shield effects. Now, I don't know if this extra shield effect, does that apply to his ultimate as well? If it does, then it is actually quite good. I'm not clear on that, so maybe somebody can send off in the comments and let me know if they do have confirmation on that. A4, plus 8% to all damage reductions. When they say all, I think they mean magic resist and physical damage reduction. So that's going to be, it's 8% less damage for somebody whose sole job is to take damage. So very, very solid. And then on the A5, when Iceberg expires, restores 100% max HP. Iceberg is his ultimate. So basically, or excuse me, that's not his ultimate. It is his unyielding. So basically, he freezes himself when he would take fatal damage for the first time for I believe it's 10 seconds. Let's just take a look here for 12 seconds. And when you do have him A5, he is going to restore all of his HP after that effect does expire. Also really big for GVG, really big everywhere. It just makes him harder to kill. It gives him a full extra life, and that is really big. Lessens his reliance on healers. We love it. We love that. Xena is the next one up. I will have a link to my breakdown of Xena's skills in the description of this video. I will go check that out. I feel like I did a pretty good job of talking through what she does. Primarily, I think the big thing to note here is really just we can look at the ultimate. We can kind of see exactly how she functions, because this tells the story essentially. Activates when deployed, increasing attack by 30% and crit damage by 80%. Now, this ultimate will only activate as soon as she's deployed. When fully skilled up, it is going to last 25 seconds. She's going to do massively more damage during that period. She has an extended range, all this jazz. After that 25-second period is over, she does very pedestrian damage, and it's not really something that you don't want her on the field at that point. You're better off recalling her and then redeploying her when it is time to do so. I guess the other thing I would note here is this Infernal Passion passive that she has. Every time that you do redeploy her, she's going to get an extra 15% damage when fully skilled up. So that goes up to 60% total. Really, really good. She does a buttload of damage, but it just has to be packed into a small window. She is kind of like Amani, I believe. It's been a long time since I've used that epic, but I believe that Amani functions in a kind of similar way in that she does a lot of burst damage initially when she's deployed, and then her damage kind of tails off after that. But let's talk through her awakenings here, and I think that is really what a lot of us are going to be concerned about. If you are interested in pulling, which again, I do not recommend that you do, but if you are going to be pulling for her, if you're like a filthy whale or something like that, then I really don't think there's a reason to pull past this A1. So during the ultimate, the hero's attack deals an extra 90% to 180% damage based on the number of targets hit. The way that her ultimate works, when she is in the ultimate window, so that 25-second ultimate duration, she can hit up to 5 units, and the amount of damage per hit that she does, or to each target that she does, kind of scales based on the number of targets that she's hitting. So at the low end, it does 150% base when fully skilled up to 5 targets. When she's only hitting 1 target, it does 300% damage. So in this case, you're going to add these values onto those numbers. So all of a sudden, when she's hitting 5 targets, it's 240% damage, and when she's hitting 1 target, it is 480% damage. So really, really solid. It's about a 60% damage increase when she is in her ultimate window, which again is the only time that you're going to have her on the field anyway. So it's a really, really big awakening, and I would certainly recommend that you snag well, I'm not recommending you do anything, but it's a huge power increase. So if you were going for her in this hypothetical scenario, that is the one that you would want to go to. The rest of them, plus 300 attack, that's nice. Base attack is always good. Scales with your attack bonus gear that you are going to have on, so that's nice, but it's not game-breaking by any means. The A3 gives her basically a pseudo-Valeria kind of unyielding effect. It's not as good as Valeria's, but basically, if she does get fatal damage when she is in the ultimate, she'll get unyielding for 5 seconds. If she does die after that, unyielding does fade, but it is what it is. It's not terrible. She can't be revived from that. Penetration plus 8%. That's great on the A4. And then A5, during the ultimate, each attack inflicts magic resist reduction on the target's hit. That is a 15% debuff. It is it's good, not great. It's available from other sources. It's not unique to her by any means. So really the only thing that you would be missing out on if you stopped at A1 that you couldn't acquire in some other way as far as damage is concerned anyway, would be the extra 300 attack on the A2 and the 8% magic resist ignore that you would get on the A4. Otherwise, there's really no reason to rank her up. Beyond that, I mean, the other stuff is nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not necessary, and things that you could work around theoretically. So I think that A1 would be really the logical stopping point. I wouldn't pull past that. You get more awakenings, cool. Like I said, she's a good hero. She's just not a great hero. And I think her use is going to be limited. But I do want to kind of show off her damage a bit, so I'm going to take you over to the Guild Boss 1. Let's go take a look at how she compares to another Infernal hero that was just released, magic damage dealing hero 2, Lord Phineas. All right, so I have got Xena on the screen right here. She is an Infernal Roar. She does have triple attack percent pieces on the right-hand side. Let's take a look at her stats real quick. 26,445 attack. She does have 337 attack speed, giving her a 1.5 second attack interval, 309% crit damage, 65.5% rage regen, which does not matter at all because she's not going to be getting any rage, period. She doesn't get rage. At all. Despite what this character sheet says, she does not actually gain any rage because her ultimate goes off as soon as she is deployed, and then you cannot reactivate it until she is recalled and then deployed again. So there is no rage to speak of. We can take a look at Lord Phineas here. One other thing, actually, I should know before I move on. She is only A1. I did not rank her up past that. As I said when we were doing the Awakenings, I don't think it really matters all that much to rank her up. You will get some minor increases to her damage if you do rank her up, but I'd say the lion's share of the increase is actually going to come from the A5 when she's just applying a debuff that you can get from somebody else. So I'm not even going to worry about that. Now, Phineas, on the other hand, this guy is already A5 on my test server account, so it is what it is, but he should have the advantage then, right? Look at him, 109k battle power. He is in Soulbound Arcana. He does have Warlord on the left-hand side. Let's take a look at his stats. 30,659 attack. He does have higher base attack than she does. That's part of the reason he is higher in base attack here. Not base attack, well, both. Full attack and base attack. He's got 358 attack speed, about 20 more than she does. 307.5% crit damage, slightly lower than hers. But all in all, these are relatively comparable sets. As much as I'd love for this to be like some big, scientific, I'm not really trying to do that here. I'm not trying to say definitively one way or another that she does, X amount of Phineas's damage. But what I am trying to say is that, this is an estimate. It's a data point. It's a piece of information comparing the two heroes. Take of it what you may. As far as artifacts are concerned, they've both got a Wailing Skull on them. I think that's all we need to know. All right, guys, this is the team that we will be using here. I did bring in Twin Fiend to act as a Legendary Lord. We do have 2 damage units from the Infernals here. We've got Xena, obviously, and Lord Phineas that I was just showing you. I also brought in Elowen. Now, Elowen is only going to be helping Lord Phineas because Xena does not actually gain any rage, like I was saying before. Now, on the other hand, Volca is only in here to help out Xena, and I could have left her out, but I felt like it was important to bring in Volca because at the end of the day, I don't think there's any comp period that you will be using Xena in that you won't also be bringing Volca. Volca is the only way that I know of anyway to actively reduce the redeployment time for Xena. It's going to reduce it from 60 seconds down to 45 seconds, which for a hero that relies on being deployed, recalled, and then deployed again and over again, so on and so forth. It is kind of insane to me that there is no piece of her kit that does not reduce her redeployment time. I did have somebody in the comments say maybe they will put out an exclusive artifact for her and that will do that. I think that's a great idea. I do hope they do that. Good call to my viewer. Definitely an awesome suggestion. So Moonton, if you are listening to that, definitely think that's something you should consider. Let's get in there. All right, guys, let me come back on screen here. Now, I thought it's pretty impressive, honestly. Almost 21,000 blood. Now, granted, on Nightmare 1, so it is a lower tier of difficulty, but it's not really, as far as damage output is concerned, there's not a huge difference. In fact, the higher levels of Guild Boss 1 actually end up giving you more blood when you do crack the shield, so it is easier to score higher on the later difficulties. So let's take a look here. All right, so all of that, 112,000 damage, or excuse me, 112 million damage for Lord Phineas. Xena, on the other hand, did 93 million damage, so that is, what, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 85%, I believe, of Phineas's damage. That is, that's pretty solid, especially when you consider the fact that she was on the field about, like, I don't know, 40% of the time that he was. So when you consider how compressed her damage was, I think DPS, damage per second, she was probably significantly higher than him. Really impressive. I mean, that's the thing about her. Her damage is amazing in that 25-second window after she is deployed. But it's only amazing for that 25 seconds. And that last 25 seconds was the one that was the highest damage because she didn't get her full stacks until that point. So, well, there you have it, guys. So, I mean, in my opinion, not worth it. I'm sorry to say. Good banner, honestly. I like both of these heroes. I think Brokkir is the better overall hero. Xena is probably the more exciting one. She's new, she does damage, but Brokkir is the, like, literally the best tank in the game as far as taking hits is concerned. So, you know, there are other tanks that do different things. You know, Cyrus, maybe you can make the argument that he is, but I guess maybe Cyrus might be. Maybe Cyrus is the best. I'm kind of talking myself out of it, but Brokkir is as far as the unyielding tanks are concerned, he is the best one. And you want as many awakenings of him as you can get. But I think when you get him at A1, you really don't care all that much about the other awakenings until you get him to A5. And so, you know, how close are you to A5 should weigh into your decision. But I do think that you're giving up too much because there are more banners coming that are going to be better in the near future. And hell, worst case scenario, if you regret not pulling on this, you can always put one of these heroes on the banner that's like the pick your own hero thing that's going to be at Christmas. So, you know, I don't think you're really giving up all that much by not pulling here. That's my perspective. The other banners, like I was saying before, Ancient Summoning, you don't want to do that. There's no raid up. And the 2X is here every weekend. So if you're desperate to pull, then I guess you could do that. But that is my advice to you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you pulling? Is she going to be useful to you? I do think one thing I haven't mentioned, several people have noted to me that she might be good in Gear Dungeon 2, kind of in the role that Hex does occupy right now. And I think that might be the case. Could potentially be good there. Could be a Hex substitute there. Haven't tested her there personally, but I do think it's someplace that she might fit in. But there's a lot of other heroes that can do the same thing, and there are people that have done it with all epics and things like that. So I don't know that you really need to pull for her just for that, but you know, if that's a big hole in your roster and it's going to get you over the hump there, then maybe that might be worthwhile. But I still really, in pretty much every situation, advise you to hold off for another few weeks until we start getting some of these better banners. Good luck on your summons whenever you do summon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe. If you did enjoy this video, I will catch you all next time.